Welcome back to Man Stuff for Dummies.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it really, really well.
Today I'm going to teach you how to solder. First thing you're going to do is you're going to strip your wires back. Strip the coating right off the ends of them using one of these guys. Find the size that's close to your wire. Strip, pull, casing comes right off. Now you can see I have three colors. I have blue, red, and black, because on this here I have blue, red, and black. Usually I like to grab the ends of my wires and twist them together like this so they're not all fuzzing out like that. So just grab them, twist them around, and then what I do is I take this and I lay this right on top, make a little X right there. See that? And then I wrap this around. Now there's several different ways you can do this. Some people like pushing them together, and I'll show you that one in a second. But this is my favorite way to do it because I can wrap it very tightly. As you can see, if it'll focus, it is wrapped pretty tightly, and it's very small, so that makes it easier to get the heat shrink on here. So then, when you do that, you're going to grab your soldering iron and your solder right here. And then, you're going to take your soldering iron, put the tip against the wire. So you start to heat up that wire a little bit. Careful, your soldering iron's very hot. And then you take your solder and add just a little bit to the wire. You see how it's wicking in there? Because the wire is hot, so the wire is melting the solder. And what that does is it pulls the solder in between all of the wires in that wrap. Okay? You don't need a lot, just enough to cover it and give it that silvery shine. You can see right there, it's coated all the way around. We have a nice solder joint, and that should hold and conduct perfectly. So the other way some people like to do this, I hate this because it's a mess, is they take the two wires and then they can like kind of feed them together, push them together like this, and then kind of twist them up in the middle. I don't know, it never really worked very well for me, but I learned it in school, so see, that just doesn't look as good. And then they solder that together, but it's like that pulls out really easily, so I'm not going to do that. So now that all three of my joints are soldered, unplug my soldering iron, set it aside. It'll be hot for probably 5 minutes or so. Let me go over here. Heat shrink tubing. What I'm going to do, look at the size of the wire to the size of my heat shrink. This one should work. So you take the heat shrink, put it over the wire, slide it down right over your solder joint. Try to center it up the best as you can to get a nice seal over the whole thing. See? Right there. Then you take a torch or a lighter or a match.
Somebody gave me fire!
And just heat it up a little bit. They also have heat guns and stuff you can use. I like my torch. It's just a butane. So that shrinks up your heat shrink and protects your solder joint from corrosion, and it gives a little bit more rigidity. Not much, but a little bit. So, and then I'll do this to the other two. And as an added layer of protection, I like to take electrical tape and wrap all three wires together. And there you have it. Now I have a nice long pigtail. So that solder joint's down here. It's protected by tape all the way down. And I have plenty of room to work with now. Now I'm just going to do it 9 more times.